After finishing 5th in the regular season standings, Christopher Newport reeled off 3 straight road victories en route to the 2014 CAC Championship, capping it off with a 3-1 triumph over Penn State Harrisburg. CNU and Salisbury both earned NCAA tournament bids, with CNU making a deep run into the Elite Eight before falling to Ohio Wesleyan in penalty kicks. Let's see what's on tap for CAC men's soccer squads in 2015, counting down the preseason poll along the way.
For this year, our goal is to be in the CAC tournament. So being one of the top 6 teams, it's going to take a lot of discipline, a lot of work. We're a young team, and because we send players off on missions, we're going to be young for a few years until they start coming home. And part of that's going to take a lot of discipline. A lot of these young guys have to step up and play our style of play, and we're going to have to earn our own respect and have to play just good soccer. I think last year, one of the things that was a disadvantage for us is that we didn't know the style of any other school or any other program. And this year we kind of know how every team plays and their style. Obviously that changes on personnel, but we have a good idea of what we're going up against.
My goals for the 2015 season are to finish at least top 5, and then it'd be nice to make it to the tournament, but of course it'd be nice to win it as well.
Our key losses from last year are Eric and Efren Gutierrez. The twins that came, they were both juniors, and so they decided to return to BYU and get their degrees. So that's a huge loss, just leadership on our part, and I think we're going to be okay overall. We have some guys returning that are also going to be juniors this year, but for sure those 2 are going to be losses for us. So Carlos Munoz, Court Cox, Colin Flynn, a lot of our sophomores are freshmen last year, sophomores this year, juniors. Josh Smith's coming back. We have JUCO transfers also coming in. So we'll have some older, kind of replacing Eric and Efren, but they're new to our team.
Off-season, trained early, all the time, 3 to 4 days a week, a lot of running, and just keeping the touches on the ball. I chose SVU for many reasons. Continue my soccer career here, playing at the collegiate level. My best friend came here, so it'd be fun to go to college with a buddy, Also to find out who I want to be and what I want to become, and find out who I am. I'll try to be a leader on and off by always being there for my teammates, encouraging them even when they mess up, call them out on it, and just help them become a better person, a better player.
So my outlook on this year's schedule is it's extremely difficult, it's challenging. Just the ODAC conference in itself is a lot of our non-conference games, and then we have the USA South, which is also nearby, and then we have our conference. And our conference is in itself already challenging. The top 4 or 5 teams are very, very, very quality teams and have a lot of leadership. And so it'll be challenging overall, but that's why I'm excited. It'll be fun. It'll be a good opportunity for our guys to learn. The most valuable thing I was able to learn was outside of soccer. First of all, is just D3 institutions, the NCAA rules for D3. Talking specifically about soccer, I think I just mentioned how the style of every team and how they play. I think we kind of were going in blind last year, and we have a staff to scout and do scouting reports, and that's huge for this year. So probably the biggest thing that I learned is how every team played and the style and the coaches that are part of that program.
We have a young group, so I think that it's going to be important that we establish what our expectations as far as their work ethic on and off the field, and establishing a system of play that best suits the talent that we have, and And I think that, early on, I mean, we can break the season down in preseason goals, the first half of the season goals and last half of the season goals. But I think that, early on right now, we're just looking at establishing the process and establishing a good work ethic and, getting these guys into a system that fits their talents.
Well, our goals and expectations are basically win more games, of course, work together, create like a brotherhood, a strong bond, because it's an essential part of a team, And once you get the chemistry going, more wins will come, and then playoffs probably after that, get more wins. Oh, my goal is to help the new guys become more like at home, so they don't feel like I'm new, so I'm scared type thing. So I want them to get more involved, and on the field, I want to be able to get them hyped, get them pumped up for the game, so they're ready to play and not as nervous, I guess, on the field.
The key guys that we have returning, in goal, we have Logan Cropper, who does a stellar job as a goalkeeper. Carlos Sanchez is one of our midfielders and does a fantastic job. Nick Hars was a freshman last year, and he played in the back, and he has really developed over the course of the season, and through the spring he had a really productive spring. So, and then of course Ahmed Al-Nawali, our forward, will be a junior this year, and last year he was player of the week for the CAC and for the ECAC. So I mean, the potential for those guys is great. I think that they're very talented, and I think that we'll expect some better results from them this year for sure.
Well, with the chemistry we've had from last year, plays are going to be easier, combinations are going to be easier to do, and also with the new guys, they'll be asking questions, and our older guys will be able to give them tips and advice on how to do certain plays better, or just in general anything, and I believe that'll be better for the team in general to get the better chemistry.
One of our top kids that we brought in was a kid named Brandon Orozco. Brandon plays for the Arlington Impact Red, and they just competed for the national championship. Very talented, hard worker. I think he'll bring a spark to us, in the forward position. And his cousin, John Paul Roscoe, is also another very, very talented player. And he'll be coming in, and he plays out on the outside, or he can play up front. Rodney Go is a young man from Prince George County, was Defensive Player of the Year for the county, and is an outstanding player, and we'll look for some great things from him. And then Andre Ferguson is another young man that also is from Prince George County, and also very talented. And then we also have a newcomer, Max Maloney. Max transferred in the spring, and so this will be his first real season with us. And a tremendous player, is a transfer, he came in from Nova, and we expect some good things from him. And then Mark Mendoza, who is another very talented player coming from the Northern Virginia area.
Well, during the off season, I've been playing with at least 5 different teams, so soccer's been consistent throughout the summer. Been going to the gym. I've seen a couple guys also here going to the gym. There's not much rest. Soccer's 24/7, so.
We open up with Hampton-Sydney at home on September 1st, and Hampton-Sydney is always, and the ODAC is always in the top tier, top 4, top 5 teams in their conference. Eastern Mennonite we face down at Mary Washington's tournament, along with Hood College, and then the next weekend we travel to Fayetteville, North Carolina, where we'll match up with North Carolina Wesleyan, who is a very solid side, and also Methodist. We'll have our work cut out for us, and that's done with a purpose. Our conference is very competitive, and I think that We try to set our guys up to play against competition that is going to make them have to rise up to the level that we need to be at when October arrives. We have a very, very tough conference from top to bottom. I think that on any day, anything can happen. So you really have to focus on, playing consistent soccer and playing well and working hard, and hopefully by October we're in that groove and we're doing some good things.
Well, I've known my coach for several years, since I was about 10 years old. So I've been going here in the backfield, running around with Moser for a long time, and I just got used to it and I decided to come here. So that kind of motivated me to come. And then of course, the school is great. It has all the majors you might want to study in, so it was a perfect fit for me.
Yeah, we're coming into the season very excited. We lots of changes for us. We've lost some really good seniors, but I think first our goal is just to learn to compete. It's a great conference, the CAC, and we welcome those challenges, and I think that's what the players want. Play the best they can. So that's our first job is to compete. Have a great time. Work hard. But just make those people watching going, hey, this team's competing. They want to win. They're going to play, and that's our first goal.
Well, the goal is to basically make it as far as we can. The end goal for all of us, even the incoming freshmen, is to obviously make it to the championship. And our expectation is to work hard during the season in order to make it to first the playoffs and then be able to make it through the playoffs to the championship.
When we look for guys to take some leadership role this year, both on and off the field, we're looking to our captains. RJ Dina is just a player. He's setting a good example in the classroom, and he just comes to work every day. Toby Sawande is an all-conference player in the past for us. He'll be a centre midfielder again. Nice, good size, and enjoys the battles in there. So CJ Harville for us has played almost everywhere. So he's a captain for us this year and a senior. Exercise science lad, and he's looking to get into the whole fitness field, and he's an engine for us out there. And of course we have Will Molesky as a junior, but he will be a captain. And rookie of the year, first year down here from New York. And I think improved last year, certainly became a better athlete. Didn't get the results he wanted regarding goals, but is invaluable for us as one of the first names down there on the team sheet. Yeah, we look for us. I think it's a really good class. I'm very excited about them. A bit of advice I was once given is make sure you like your players. I know it sounds very silly, but you do need to enjoy working with them. You need guys that want to be coached. They see your words as advice and not as criticism. And I do think we have a group of guys that want to get better. They feel good about themselves. They think they're good already. But they're realizing now, as when they come into preseason, that it's a big step up. The speed of play, obviously the caliber of our competition. So it's going to be very tough for them. But I think they're very excited. We've got a group of guys that were from Delaware itself that were all-state, and I think those players and all of them just want to test themselves now against the best and other teams in the CAC.
All the conference games, to be honest. Frostburg for me personally, because my freshman year and sophomore year, I've had like 2 bad experiences the past few years. Last year I got injured. The first year I didn't play too well, so Frostburg definitely really wanted to sort of switch it up a little bit for me. But for the whole team, I would say any conference game. CNU really, because they're sort of like the big dogs in our conference. But like I said, any conference game is really what gets us pumped up. So I mean, that might be the best part of being a student athlete at Wesley, is how close the teachers are and how the fan base here with the teachers is amazing. All season, there are people that'll drive by and during practices they'll say go Wesley, or during games they'll just come up here and they'll just support the home team. Anyone from Dover is really welcome. Students are great, they always come out, especially like I said for conference games. Those are the big games for us, so everyone sort of just comes out and we try to promote as much as we can, because I mean the bigger more people come, the bigger the fan base, the louder it is. It's just better for us because then we get more into it and we ended up playing better. So.
Our schedule this year, we open up with McDaniel from the Centennial Conference. They'll be here. It's a September 1, 4 o'clock in the afternoon game, and so that's good. We haven't played them for many years, so we look forward to that. We have a local Washington College from here on the shore coming in during the year, also from the Centennial, and a couple other games. Eastern Mennonite from Virginia, of non-conference for us. Always had good battles with them, and Widener from the Philly area. So several good non-conference matches. We have 2 great tournaments. We'll go down to Christopher Newport. Newman is down there, and Virginia Wesleyan, teams that have represented their conference in the national tournament. So great competition for us. And then we, of course, will be at the Rowan tournament, playing Rowan University hopefully on the second day. And look, the New Jersey Conference is another very physical, very athletic group of programs there, and great test for us. And, you play the best, and let's see what happens.
Our goals are always to be in the playoffs. I think we've set a standard where if we don't make the playoffs, it's a disappointing year. Last year was a top 3 finish, so this year 1 or 2 would be great, but I think top 4, get a home game for the playoffs is always a kind of a standard goal. And then kind of once we see how the team's kind of playing throughout the season, maybe we start to change that and adapt it as we get closer to the conference play and playoff time. But we expect to compete for conference championships, so that's always our goal.
Well, our goals for the team this year to, better what we did last year. We finished with 10 wins, I believe, last year. We're looking at bringing in a good amount of guys that we can build a team around, kind of take it day by day. We're going to look to aim for first or second in the conference. That's always the goal. Making playoffs, getting a bye this year would be important for us. Just looking forward to, getting the guys together, getting a good season going. My off season consisted of a lot of playing on big teams. I played NPSL, which is National Premier Soccer League, very competitive league, playing with a lot of high-level Division I kids, kids that are out of college, or young adults who are out of college in their mid-20s, so on and so forth. So it's very high-level soccer, just training, going high-intensity reps every day, just getting ready, getting my mind ready for the season as well.
Well, our captain, Mitchell Muse, will be back, senior center back. Our goalkeeper, Hassan Mustafa, first team all-conference as a sophomore. Nabai Tesfu was our leading scorer, so he's coming back. And then a couple of guys that played some pretty significant minutes. Chris Herbert will be back in the midfield, maybe a little defense this year. John Lippett was one of our top recruits 2 years ago, but he's been out with injuries for 2 years. We're hoping to get him back into form that he had in high school and be a major contributor. That would really boost our midfield if he's healthy and ready to go. We had a pretty good recruiting class. Most of it was focused on the offense this year. I think we've got a couple of guys that can play target forward, Carvel Akufo and Guy Nabo. Our midfield should be bolstered with Kelvin Tata, Serene Guillet, KJ Davis, Elliot Quinteros. And then we've got a couple of guys in the back. We do have a former Division I transfer, Eric Casterline, coming to play right back hopefully for us. and Sergio Gomez and another goalkeeper, hopefully to be the heir apparent to Hassan when he's all said and done. And I think it's a good class, and I think hopefully the offense will start to pick up a little bit with these new guys coming in.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys we're bringing in gel with the current players. I'm looking forward to seeing how competitive we can be, because ultimately we're going to be as competitive for as long as it takes our younger guys to get accustomed to the college game, so to speak. So as long as we're helping them get comfortable with the college game, the 12 guys we are looking to bring in, they're going to bring a lot to the table, and that will dictate how well we do this season.
Our non-conference is good. I mean, it's not the toughest schedule in the world, but it's a good non-conference schedule. I think part of it is some of those regional games we have to play during the week, and we try to keep within a normal driving distance, so it kind of limits who we get to play sometimes. But we do have some quality opponents like Johns Hopkins, and we'll play Centenary and Bridgewater throughout the season, and then a couple more of the local teams like Altoona and Bethany and Washington and Jefferson. Our conference is great. I mean, top to bottom, I don't think we have weak teams. We just have teams that finish in the bottom of the table. And our top 7, 8 teams are all legitimate playoff contenders. And then 9 and 10 are maybe just on the outside looking in, but they can upset you if you don't show up ready to play. And I think it says a lot that our defending champion last year didn't even make the conference playoffs. And our team that was picked last came in second. So it's a very, very competitive conference, and usually 2 nationally ranked teams and 6 or 7 regionally ranked teams, and that's just quality soccer for us to prepare for.
In conference, our conference is regarded by most as one of the most competitive conferences in the country. 5 or 6 teams ranked pretty much every year. So it's always going to be a strong conference with Christopher Newport, Salisbury, York, Mary Wash, Penn State Harrisburg in the mix now, St. Mary's in the mix, along with us, and Marymount and Southern Virginia can't be overlooked either, because they've given a lot of teams problems as well in the past. But our non-conference, we're looking at Hopkins, which is a big game. We play them September 9th at home, so that's a big game for us. Kind of getting some bulk on our schedule. We also have the potential of playing Bridgewater, which is another big-time school. They're coming down for our tournament, so as long as we win and take care of business, our first game we'll be playing Bridgewater in the championship, which is exciting for us.
Obviously, I think they're definitely a little different this year after last year, but I mean, it's still the same on the training pitch. We're gonna work hard at what we do and just try and get better and better, and then just see where we're at when the conference games roll around. Hopefully, we're healthy first of all, and then hopefully we can continue on from how last season ended. That's certainly our expectation going into this year, just to be competitive in every game and be in there with a shout at the end of the season.
I think as a team, the overall goal is to get back to the CAC finals and have a postseason, hopefully nationals or the ECAC tournament, but I know everybody wants to get to the national tournament this year.
We definitely had a quality bunch of young people, individuals and players graduate, and then Malik obviously moved up to University Park, which is fantastic for our program. But I think every program loses seniors. We lost our fair share for sure, and there's no time to rebuild, especially in this conference. So those boys have moved on. We're going to miss them terribly, but it's time for the rest or for the next wave to step up, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. We have definitely some key players coming back, some of whom got awards last year, which is great. So they're coming back with a bit of confidence, and hopefully that spreads throughout the team to the newcomers. The newcomers are coming into a brand new situation here at Penn State Harrisburg, where we have a little bit of a target on our back, maybe. So we've gone from being the underdog to maybe we have to live up to what we did last year. So I think everybody that was here last year that is coming back is a key returner, because they went through what we achieved last year. So everyone that is returning is going to be key in terms of spreading the word and spreading their experience to the newcomers. We have some very exciting players coming in, but until we get onto the practice pitch and get playing, we have to see who's ready right now and who has to work a little on certain things.
I think just getting back out on the field with the guys and seeing what we can do this year. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to, and seeing how far we can go this year. I'm excited to see what we can do.
Our non-conference schedule is definitely the toughest it's been since I got here, which is great. This is where we wanted to get to, where every program that we're playing, every single one is going to be tough, competitive game, and maybe even a little bit more established than we are. But we're in with them now, and that's where we wanted to get to. So really looking forward to those games, and then really trying to build up and prepare so that we really hit the ground running with the CAC conference, which is for sure going to start off. I mean, first game is away, Christopher Newport, so it's a replay of last year's conference finals. So that's really, really exciting. That's where we wanted to be, and we're there. So now we gotta live up to it.
I'm really excited for the schedule because we have a lot harder teams on our schedule, which increases our power ranking, hopefully. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to see how we compare to teams of higher caliber. My favorite part would be how the teachers and the coaches are very understanding of being a student athlete. They're all willing to help. Being like a student in the classroom, professors are always accepting and understanding that I have practices or games, and they're willing to help. And coach is always willing to help with making up practices or other stuff while there's crossovers for classes during practice times.
Improve on our successes that we had last year. I think we took a lot of good steps going forward. I think that if we can get into the playoffs again and make another run, I think that would be fantastic.
This year we're looking to build on the success of last season. Last year we had solid record with win in playoffs. We're looking to take that to the next level this year with another winning record and hopefully some more wins in playoffs.
I know that returners have done a fantastic job. They worked hard in the spring season, did a great job over the summer. A lot of them played on club teams over the summer, which is great. Came in fit, ready to go. The captains now have stepped up to try and replace that leadership that we did lose, and have done a great job so far during pre-season. So I'm really happy with the returns. Freshman class have done a great job. They really have. They've come in, they've worked hard, they're fit, ready to go. They're pushing everybody as well, and doing a great job in training. And so really happy with the newcomers.
We had a very successful spring season. The boys worked very hard in practice, We had good results in 2 tough scrimmages. Many of us joined club teams this summer. We got good weekly play time, and we came into preseason very fit, ready to go. I'm really excited about our chances in the conference play. As I said before, we're building on success of last season. We are almost to where we want to be. I think this year we really have a chance to go all the way.
Our non-conference schedule again is strong. We've got to do our best to try and prepare ourselves for our conference play. And so we play very strong teams such as Rutgers Camden, Merchant Marine Academy and Catholic, all in and around regionally ranked teams or nationally ranked teams, and have got to the NCAA. So we want to play some quality teams in there. And then obviously getting into the conference schedule. I mean, from top to bottom, this is one of the best conferences in the nation. And so we've got to try and be as prepared as possible going into our conference play to try and do the best that we can.
We have some very tough games scheduled before the conference starts. They will help prepare us. The CAC is one of the most competitive conferences in the country. So, every game will be a battle, but I'm very excited about our chances. I love being a student athlete here. It's a small liberal arts school. The professors are very accepting, welcoming. They're very supportive of our scheduling conflicts. I often see them cheering us on in all the games. Between a team study hall and bringing our homework on the bus, I find juggling academics and athletics here to be very manageable.
Yeah, I think our primary goal is obviously to be competitive within the CAC again and get back to competing for a CAC championship is first and foremost for us. And then obviously beyond that, we want to be relevant on the national soccer scene again. So the easiest way for us to get back to the NCAA tournament is to compete for a CAC championship and win that. So those are our 2 big objectives for this fall.
As a team, we're looking to be successful, obviously. Last year had a bit of a hiccup in the fall season with our performance. Disappointing not only for the team, but for the program as a whole. And we're just going to get back to playing like the York College men's soccer team is supposed to be played, is expected to, and hopefully have a successful season.
Yeah, I think for us, we have a great blend of, key returners and then new incoming players. I think we returned all 4 all-conference guys last year, and Chris and Brennan Saberton, Ryan Donahue, and then also Greg Bouchard. So, I think those 4 guys are just good for senior leaders for us as well as good players on the field. I think just in goal, having Charlie Johnson healthy will be a big key for us. But, I'm excited to see some of the younger guys step up for us as well. Yeah, we have a big group coming in. I think Nathan Bilby, one of our transfers from Gordon College, I think he had a very successful freshman year, and I'm expecting, after seeing him play in high school as well, expecting him to compete for a starting spot from day one. And then also a few other guys, Tony Mosquera from Northern Virginia, and then also Dan Bechtel, among the mix. But again, I said it's a big group of 9 incoming guys, so we'll see over the next few weeks who's prepared and ready to go.
Everyone's extremely excited for the season. I know that Coach Sheffy is as well. Just the energy that he brings, the passion that he has for the sport, and the knowledge that he brings to practices. It's already rubbing off on the team, and we're just looking to get into the season and get started.
It's something that I always want to be a staple of this program, is just playing an extremely competitive in-conference and out-of-conference schedule. And across the board, I think over the last 5 years, the CACs continue to get even more competitive and parity across the board. Even last year, I think St. Mary's and Penn State Harrisburg, really took a step forward as programs. And obviously with the likes of Salisbury and CNU in the mix, and Mary Wash always being very competitive. So I think in conference it's just become even more competitive. And for us not making the conference playoffs last year, obviously it was a little bit of a setback, but I think the guys are anxious and excited to get back for this fall and really compete for a CAC championship again. And then out of conference, we have Messiah, Johns Hopkins, a few of the teams that we always play traditionally, as well as Stevenson, Gettysburg, Lebanon Valley, Misericordia. So some other, regional opponents and teams that I think can give us a really good test. And, ultimately I hope it prepares us well for postseason play, if we're fortunate enough to earn our way there. So.
Just getting back to playing the games, obviously it's the last season for me being a senior, and I know a bunch of the other seniors are feeling the same way. We just want to leave an impression, leave a lasting our legacy behind for the younger guys, and I know that the group that we have coming in is extremely anxious to get at it as well. But being the last season, obviously taking every step of the way, one at a time, and not looking past anything.
I think a few of the strengths, one's just going to be kind of a newfound hunger and desire. As I said, after last year kind of being a setback year from the previous 9 to 10 years, I think it just gave everybody a new perspective and a new hunger. So I think, the senior group of guys is really looking to try and leave their legacy on the program. And I think, with the influx of new guys that we're bringing in as well, I think it's going to give us a lot of depth for us to help wear down teams throughout the season and hopefully into postseason play. So I think those two things, just kind of a newfound hunger and desire and new perspective on exactly what it takes to be competitive in the CAC and get to the NCAA tournament and do well, and then just really a good balance and good depth to our roster.
All we've really known being here at York since our freshman years, besides last year, is success as a team. And it was a little bit of a wake-up call last season for us, especially the upperclassmen. And we definitely don't want that to repeat, and we want to definitely change the way that this season ends on a high note, leaving behind footsteps for the younger guys to follow.
I think a successful season, for us, and the standard's kind of been set, for the past 10 to 15 years is winning a CAC championship and, competing deep in the NCAA tournament. So obviously there's a ton of work that needs to be done before that, but that's what the players that I'm looking to bring in are guys that want to, come here and work and compete for championships and ultimately, help the program progress to its first Final Four and its first national championship. So, I think at least for this season is getting back, first and foremost the CAC playoffs and winning a CAC championship, and then, once you get in the NCAA tournament, anything can happen from there. So we'll see.
We're very excited about this season. Our team goal is to compete to win the conference championship and ultimately make it into the NCAA tournament and hopefully have a long run in that tournament.
Well, as a team, I think we're probably the most talented team that we've had. We brought in a great freshman class, and I expect nothing less than going to the NCAA tournament this year, for sure.
Say there's one key loss, major loss for us, was our team captain, Nick Shepard. He was a fantastic leader, motivator, and helped secure our back line. So it was a very big loss for us. We have several key returners. We have quite a few upperclassmen. We do have 2 players that were all conference last year, and we're definitely expecting quite a bit of contribution from our new players also. So I think with a combination of our leadership and returning guys with a lot of experience and with a few transfers and also the freshman class, we're very excited to see how things end up.
Individually, I played at a very high level all summer and stayed fit, so I think that's going to translate really well coming back and playing for Mary Washington. And as a team, everybody put in the work. It was expected to play competitively over the summer and get your lifting in and stay fit. So I expect that also to translate really well.
Well, I feel this freshman class, including the transfers, is possibly one of the best we've had in the last 4 years. And I don't want to say anyone specific because I haven't necessarily seen them in our environment, but from the outside, watching them play club soccer and with their high school teams, it will be definitely very challenging and for everyone, and it's exciting to raise the bar for our whole team.
Looking forward to winning a national championship. My senior season, I don't think I'd be happy unless we at least made a run for the national championship. Well, we always look forward to playing York and CNU. Obviously, they're the top teams in our conference along with us. And another team that I love playing is Dickinson. They always give us a good run, and we've tied them consistently. And I would love to just break that tie streak and beat them.
Well, as you know, the CAC is one of the top conferences in the country, and alongside of that, we have a few outside teams as far as like Dickinson, Catholic. Those two teams made to the NCAA tournament. North Carolina Wesleyan's always strong. We're going up in New Jersey to play Richard Stockton and William Patterson, Hood College. So those are very, very good teams, and we're excited about the competition.
Probably just a sense of community here. I love how all the athletes really just stick together, and the administration is always really supportive and helps us attain the goals that we set for ourselves every year.
Obviously, our goals and expectations, as they are every year, is to be competing for a conference championship. And we'd like to win a conference championship and then continue on and make a deep run into the NCAA tournament.
As a team, our goals and expectations for this season, obviously first and foremost is take every game one step at a time. We play a big team in Susquehanna in our first game of the season, where that's a challenge right off the bat. And looking at our schedule and our season is that we have every single game we're competing, so it's just taking one game at a time and focusing from there on out. But obviously, Elmer Lord, first game of the season, conference championship, and then make a run in the tournament.
We were hit the hardest in our defending side of the field, where we lost Kyle Westbrook, Logan Becker, and Jeff Burns. So those are probably three of our biggest losses last year. We lost some leadership in Stephen Poorman, and we lost one of our relatively quick front runners in Benjamin Arity. So those are some key losses. Obviously, one of our key returners this year is a guy who would have been a loss last year, and that's Matt Green, who unfortunately suffered a season-ending injury, luckily, and was able to get his redshirt year and will be back with us. He's rehabbed quite well, so he's a strong returning player for us. We return Drew Stadley in goal, been just a tremendous player for us the last 3 years. We return Cy McNeil as one of our outside backs. We have a really strong group of central midfield players that are returning for us, including Michael Feeney, Bradley Martinelli, Dennis Runicera, and that's a good group. And then we have a real nice group of sort of front runners by committee, led by Matt Green, and Chris Kittleberger is probably our key returners. And I think that it's going to be a different team, but it's going to be a team that's going to be challenging.
Me personally, it was a lot of physical therapy, a lot of rehab, 3, 4, 5 times a week. We got a great athletic training staff that really helps us get back to the shape that we need to be. But just hard workouts with Coach Matt Nine and the whole team showing up. We had the best attendance, that we've had in quite some time, and just everyone came to compete in the spring, which is a very good sign for what's to come in the fall. I'm most looking forward to winning. I'd love to win as a team, but just to play, to be honest, to after the start that I was having last season, then to end that in injury, I mean, I was upset for a couple days, but it really taught me patience and to work towards my goals, I mean, not only on the soccer field, but off as well. And just that patience has brought me to this point. So I'm excited to just be with the team, be with my friends and have one more chance to, get that conference championship. I can't tell you how great it feels. To be honest, I've been thinking about this moment ever since I first got injured and found out that I would end up getting the medical red shirt and be able to play. This is the greatest feeling to something where I've put in 22 years of work, played soccer since I was just a baby. My dad put a ball at my feet. To get that opportunity again, where my whole family's supporting me, my friends are supporting me, and to show up every single day and work hard for the game that has given me so much in life. It's an amazing opportunity.
Well, obviously, I think the CAC schedule and teams are probably top to bottom one of the toughest conferences in the country for soccer. So we know we have a number of really competitive matches in the CAC. On top of that, this year our out-of-conference schedule is even more difficult than it's ever been. We play some perennial top 25 teams, some NCAA teams from last year. We have added a couple of new opponents from the Mid-Atlantic region that are very strong opponents. So top to bottom, I would say this is probably one of the most challenging schedules we've had in a number of years.
Definitely number one, the gear. Gotta say, I love the gear. We have, especially the new jerseys that we got last season, the introduction to last season, that was a great feeling. But just a student athlete is the community that we have. It's not just the men's soccer team hanging out with the men's soccer team. You're with the women's soccer team, the basketball teams, lacrosse teams, football teams. Everyone has a mutual respect that we came to this school not only to really focus on our studies and at the Division III level have the ability to focus on our studies more, but to put in that extra effort and work hard, so you gain that mutual respect across the board from all teams. So it's a powerful community.
Our goal every year is to win the conference. I think it's probably the goal of every team that plays in the league. And so hopefully we'll be successful enough to get into the playoffs and maybe make the NCAA playoffs again.
Definitely as a team we look to match what we did last year. So definitely complete the championship that we have, the CAC, definitely win that. And if we can, go to the NCAAs. Last year we got the Elite Eight, and hopefully we can go further. Coaches recruit very good players, so we don't look like any season is a rebuilding season.
Well, we lost the three-time All-American Jalen Brown. We lost Alec Faulkner, also a four-year player. We also lost Alex McCumbee. And so I think we lost about 4 or 5 starters that were key players last year for us, and that'll be a lot for us to make up. Well, we also returned a lot of good players. I would say Henry Gauthier, Ryan Balfour, Patrick Burns, all forwards. Our midfield is still strong with Harry Nodwell, and in the back we have senior Sean Christine and also Zach Douglas. And I would say it's a big deal for us to get our goalkeeper back, who was injured the majority of last year. His name is Nolan Mann.
Off-season is very tough, but it's what we need. We get to the point where our legs can't really go anymore, and we have to use our brain, which helps in the final few minutes of very important games. I'm looking forward to obviously having a successful senior year, and also I really enjoy seeing the younger guys come up and really blossom into very good players that are going to see they're going to do very big things in the future.
We had a really nice class that came in this year. We have Todd Lesko from Roanoke, Zach Ballard from Northern Virginia, Zach Pedini came in from Richmond, Andrew Maeso is a local kid, played for the Richmond Magic. So we have a good group that came in, and we expect them to be able to help us right away. Well, the conference schedule is always going to be difficult. It's a good conference. All the teams are good soccer teams. It was evident last year that you had to come out with your A game every time, or else it was going to be a problem. Our non-conference schedule is always good as well. We play against Rutgers Camden, who is a very good team in New Jersey, also New Jersey City. I would say we play against the best teams in the Old Dominion Conference and also the USA South. So every night that we go out to play is going to be a big game for us.
Both are very, very strong, which definitely prepares us well for the NCAAs if we do get there. Yeah, upcoming, and we don't have as many home games as last year, so that will be another test for us, which also will be good for us as well. I feel like you really have the student assemble behind you, so we have a huge crowd come out every home game. You get the tingling in your fingers when you go out on the field, and it feels really good that you got the whole student behind you.